All right, we're back. It is unfrozen now. Let's see if we can get her in here. Sorry about that, guys. All right. All right. All right. I think we're getting it. I think we got it now.
Hey!
Hey, so sorry about all that. I don't know what
That's
was happening.
okay. That was an adventure. It was like, what's gonna
Oh,
happen?
it really is. I just feel bad for everybody watching because they have to see all these unflattering angles of my face.
You know what? Everybody knows what that looks like. Everyone has a phone. They've all opened
Every,
the video thing
you're right.
accidentally. It's
You're right. You're
fine.
right. Nobody hates their own face more than that person. So,
More than ourselves, you know?
right.
We're the
Exactly.
CEO of hating ourselves. That's how it
Yeah.
goes.
The whole time I was just trying not to throw up on my phone. I was just like, oh God. Uh, no, I don't want to take up very much of your time. Thank you so much for
Of
talking to me
course.
today. And congratulations on Wizards dropping on Netflix.
Thanks. It's amazing. I mean, I still can't believe I'm a part of it. It just feels like, what?
Yeah.
The whole time we were recording voices, every time I was there, I was like, what's happening? It's so
So
awesome.
so were you already a big fan of Troll Hunters before you signed on
Yeah,
for the show?
yes, actually, I think that might have been how I might have booked it. I'm not really sure. Lots of stuff goes on behind the scenes, but I had talked to my agents and managers a long time ago about the kinds of things that I like, and I'm a huge fan of Guillermo, not only like as a creator, but as an artist and as a just like genius mind. I went and saw that touring exhibit of all of his like, the inner workings of his brain. Did you see that exhibit?
No, I didn't.
I went by myself, and I think I might have looked like a real weirdo because I mean, halfway through, I was like crying. I was just bawling because it was all so beautiful
Right.
and incredible. And looking at his journals and seeing sort of like, you really felt like you were deep diving into his creative space, which to be a part of this just felt like, oh my gosh, I get to be a part of something like from that creative genius's mind. It's been really, really fun.
Yeah. I can only imagine based on some of the movies that he's done, it would be incredible.
It was amazing.
Probably a little scary too. I'm sure there was
Very
some.
scary. For sure. There were models and drawings that were like really dark and beautiful and scary. It was amazing.
So, Callista's one of the newer characters to come to Arcadia. What was it about her as a character that made you want to play her?
Well, I think I was cast mainly for the sort of lower register voices that I can do. I think that they might have thought that DreamWorks and Guillermo must have thought that I might be a good fit. But also there's something that, I guess I play pretty well, which is tough exterior, soft interior. And
Hmm.
Callista has a bit of that. She's like really
Right.
tough. She's a smart ass, and she also has the capability to have a vulnerable side that she hides really, really, really well. So when it comes out in some moments, especially around Jim, like when it comes out, it's like it feels like it's earned. And I love that. I love characters like that, and I loved this particular character, so I was just lucky to be part of it. And I also got to do Nimoy's voice for a little bit.
Oh, cool. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's something I'm curious about because you talk about your lower register
Hmm.
and like Callista's got these like sharp teeth and she's
Right.
yeah, and everything. So I just wondered if you have to change your voice or try to do anything to like when somebody's got like an animation has like a weird thing going on with their mouth, if you try to do something different with that or
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's so helpful to me as a voice actor to see the renderings, even if the renderings change, even if because they change and morph over time, but for me, one of the most helpful things was to see one of the initial renderings and then to see like what she kind of morphed into as time went on. Cause like then you sort of start to think like, well, what would I sound like if I was that shape, size, if I had those teeth, if I like moved in that way, like what would I sound like? So yeah, I think it's really, it helps you. It's like enacting like it's the same as like choosing your shoes or your jacket or costume or whatever. It's like, it's not, none of it's arbitrary. It all informs your performance.
Yeah. Do you, as far as your performance go, do you have a preference between the actual acting versus the voice acting, or what? I say actual acting. I don't mean like actual
No, I
acting.
know.
They're both actual acting, but the physical acting versus the voice acting.
I mean, I think that they're all, that's like, sometimes I think about my dog and I'm like, oh my God, this poor animal that only gets to eat this one kind of food. Like sometimes we mix it up for him and he gets treats once in a while, but like it's pretty much like one kind of food all the time, right? But like
Right.
for us, we get to choose. It's like, and for me that it's like it is like that. They're just different cuisines almost, you're just like dipping into this completely different. I mean, like I used to do a ton of theater, and that is completely different than being on film or on a TV set. And then that is also completely different from being in a voice booth, like they're all so different. I could not really choose one. Although I think like for me, as I get older and older, I mean, I would love to still be doing voiceovers when I'm like an old lady, they can't
Right.
do 8 shows a week or whatever. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Well, also now too, considering our current circumstances, I feel like voice acting is kind of a godsend because
Yeah.
everybody can do it alone in their homes and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
That's my voiceover booth right there.
Oh, nice.
That
Yeah, I
weird
have
grid
I
right
have a
there.
room in here for my show that I do. It's just a green screen and everything, and working from home's the best. I just love
It's
it.
it's pretty wild, man. Although I do miss people on set. I do miss
I do too.
humans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I just like getting up and being like, well, I'm just gonna walk 2 feet over to work today.
It's kind of amazing. We're very lucky that we get to do that. Very lucky.
Absolutely. One more question, and I'll let you go. And this is a personal question for me. I
Sure.
know earlier this year when Ruby Rose left Batwoman, you were kind of talking about your voice and your support. How
Yeah.
you'd love to play Batwoman, and I want to say I was like full on support for you. I think you would have been awesome. But now that role has been filled, was it only Batwoman that interests you, or is there other superheroes that you would like to play?
I mean, that role has been filled beautifully, perfectly. The right person is going to play that role now. I think for me, what's exciting about that casting and what's exciting about, for example, the Marvel universe expanding to embrace, like Black Panther, is that like what's really, really exciting is that the general public has shown that they are so interested in seeing Black superheroes and they want to support Black superheroes. And like, that's thrilling for me because really it's like that is just a wave that reverberates through every community that's not white, right? Like,
Right.
so if all the superheroes have kind of looked like this forever and then suddenly we've got this like new movement to create superheroes. I mean, like, you think about like the last iteration of Into the Spider-Verse, like that was incredible because it was like, oh, these just like Afro Latinos on screen, like as the leads in this family. Like,
Right.
so, it's really exciting to think that the DC universe, the Marvel universe should, in my opinion, but might and hopefully will continue to cast Black, Indigenous, people of color in these lead roles and reimagine them in ways, like for me, I think the idea that Disney and Marvel were going to collaborate on She-Hulk was really exciting because she's always been one of my favorite characters.
Actually, someone in the comments just said Steph for She-Hulk, and I was like, that's actually a great idea. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it depends on these decision makers at the top, right? But it also depends on people vocalizing what they want. And I think the more support that like fans can say like out in the public, like this is who we want to see as these roles, I think, the people at the top listen to that. They might not always listen and they might not listen right away, but eventually they do listen. And I think that making noise about that stuff is really important. So yeah, I would love to play that role because I think it would be a incredible chance for me specifically as a Latina woman, as a queer person, to play a role that, is, I mean, like, when I think about my specific experience as an American, for example,
Yeah.
I'm an immigrant. I'm queer, I'm Latina, I am not a Black Latina, and so like, um, you know, there, it's like the Latin diaspora is like this big thing, right? So like,
Yeah.
but there's all these intersectional places where I live, specifically me, where I live, and there's also all these specifically intersectional places where that character lives. She literally is straddling two worlds every single day of her life, and sometimes she literally can't control how people see her. So I just think the echoes of my experience as a human being and her experience, and her inability to choose, like she didn't choose to be a superhero, it just happened to her. She
Right.
wanted to do something completely different, and like boom, you know. So like for me, I think it would be really exciting to play that role because I could bring a lot of honesty and truth to it. But it's in at the end of the day, it's just up to Marvel and Disney. So, you know, we'll
Yeah.
see.
I love that answer, though. That's a great answer. So you guys
Thanks.
heard it. Start voicing your support for Stephanie and She-Hulk. That would be amazing. Stephanie, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you so much for your
I had a
awesome
great time
questions.
talking to you. I'm sorry about the
Me
hiccups
too.
earlier.
Who cares?
All
It was
right.
fun.
It's done.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Have a great
Everybody
weekend and
watch
stay safe.
Wizards. It's so good.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I want to thank all of you guys and thank everyone from Wizards for talking to me. You guys were awesome. Thanks to everybody for watching. And you guys make sure you check out the show. It's live right now on Netflix. So follow me at CK Comedy. Keep following that Comic Book for all the latest info on Troll Hunters and the Tales of Arcadia. And see you later, guys.